Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Laurel here. We're just waiting for everyone to get here.
Hi, Laurel. Can you hear me?
I can.
Lucky you. This is Larry, Laurel.
How you doing? I can recognize the number. Okay.
How do you mute, Laurel?
If you look on your screen, you'll see a microphone. Mute yourself. Just click it and a red line will go over it.
I'm on my
Oh, I'm not quite
see.
sure.
I see it. Cool.
Okay.
Hey, you go on the road. It's Tony.
I forgot to send it to the most important person. Can you guys all see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good. PJ?
hear anything. Hello?
Yep, you're there.
Can you hear me?
Yep. Speak up.
Can you hear the AC in the background?
No.
All right, cool. All right. Begin in like 2 minutes.
Yeah, we're still waiting for maybe another 10 people.
That's fine. Most of them paid 2 weeks ago. So they probably, some people just pay for the class. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
How you going, PJ?
Hey, Big Tone, what are you doing?
Not much, mate. Actually, my neighbour's about to take me up for a fly, so I'm going to miss most of your class, but I'll just have to get the recording off.
Yeah, that's
live.
fine. You're going on the plane?
Yeah, he's got a little plane, my neighbour, and he just offered me to go up for an hour this morning and have a look around.
That's awesome. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never been on a small plane like that.
It's only a two-seater. I'm not that keen.
Shoot.
But they'll be okay. Get some good shots.
Send me some photos.
I will.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I will.
How's Sonia?
She's good. She's still here. She goes home next week.
Ah,
Yeah,
I'll be over
so
there soon.
She'll sit on all of the class.
Cool.
Yeah. What have you been doing?
Reading.
Have you?
A little bit of partying for my birthday.
Good plan.
Getting in trouble.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, Sonia. No, it's been good. It's been a good few weeks, I'll tell you that. Been a great couple weeks.
Good.
No complaints, a lot of progression. A lot of new forms coming my way, so it's been cool. Everything's been great. I'll be over there soon, though.
Very good. We'll be able to get things finished off.
Finished off. You're all right there.
Yeah, just about.
I'm flying to Missouri tomorrow to see my good old boys, Mr. Middleton and the Doc.
Okay.
And that's always a good time. I think we're going to go to the Lake of the Ozarks.
When do you reckon you'll be over here? End of August, September.
September, probably.
Yep, that's fine.
September.
Yeah.
Because I still got a couple things I got to send out too, and I'm finalizing. Still working on the bill of complaint. It's mostly done. I'm preparing one for foreclosures right now, and then I'm preparing one for it's basically like a tort claim, pretty much, for damages. I don't know. I've been reading some stuff. A lot of people. See over here, I've just read something. After 45 days, an affidavit becomes, or 90 days. After 90 days, an affidavit becomes accounts receivable. So under Title 15, it becomes a security.
Yes.
And then what I've been reading is over here, the state insurance commissioner. You send the affidavit to them, and that's supposed to do something. So I'm gonna see what's going on with that, and I'll let you know.
Thank you. I've been doing a bit of a look over here, PJ. We can't lodge a security over here now unless we use one of those, unless we've got one of those GLEI numbers, which I sent you the information on, which is a global legal entity identifier.
Yeah, that's well. See, you have your FINS number though, right?
Yeah, but we can also get our GLEI through the DTCC. They've got a.
All right, so you're gonna have to show me that one then.
I'll send you the link on that. It's only $100 bucks. I checked it out yesterday. I'm actually going to get one the next couple of days, so I've got it.
Okay.
So 19 number, and then I've got it. You know.
Awesome.
And I don't.
Yeah, and you were onto something with that 1041V. So when we're filing our 1041s, our 1041Vs are going to accompany it. So you were correct with that.
Okay, good work.
Yeah, great work. Amazing.
Good. So I've put all my stuff into Washington. An amended 1041, and we did a 1041B too, didn't we? We did put that in. So, yeah, I don't know how long it'll take to get some credits back, but it should happen.
Yeah, I'll show you. It has to do with Form 706 and 709.
Okay. Have you have you got a template on them?
Yes, not the 706, but I do on the 709.
Yeah.
706, the first 6 pages are the most important.
Right. So we got to do both.
So,
yeah.
But I know some accounts that fill the 706s out, and I've been talking to them and stuff, and we've been going over a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff that nobody talks about. They've been sharing me with some good information. It's been, like I said, it's been a great couple of weeks.
Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing the process on the 706 and 709, and then we can lodge them in as well and make sure that they do get out.
Right. So another thing that I've been reading is the default, and then so once you get a company in default, then you go to the Secretary of State, get a certificate of default, put that on a UCC1, then you have to have I believe an investment account and a brokerage account, and then you take that and you lodge that as a security, and you get the dividend payout.
Okay.
I know one of these girls that's done it. She had a judge in default, and she's getting a dividend payout. So I was like, good for you, my G.
Perfect.
She's awesome. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
What I have to do is leave you on my phone on speaker. And then if you want to hang up. I don't know if we'll send you something later that I can send you to listen.
I don't know.
How's Santos been?
Sorry?
How's Santos been? You guys still talking to him over there?
Haven't heard from him the last few days. Laurel posted something up in our little group this morning for him, but we haven't heard from him, so I don't know how he's going.
He sent his girl back, so I said, well, we still could complete everything else and keep moving forward, and she can go right back when she wants. So.
Yeah.
All good. All good. Me and the embassy over there, mate.
What's that?
Coming over there to go to the embassy.
Are you?
We'll see. Yeah. We'll see. That'll be a shit show in there.
I'd love to go with you. That'd be great.
Yeah, it'd be a good trip. Why not?
Yeah, go to Canberra.
What are you going for? You get a DC?
There he is. Sean, what's up, Sean?
You get a diplomatic courier status? That's what they said.
Right? Courier status, right?
No, a diplomatic courier. No, this is what the embassy staff said. No, what you want is a diplomatic courier.
No shit. All right.
Diplomats have to notify before they get there, so like pomp and circumstance. Diplomatic couriers are go unnoticed, but their bags aren't checked.
I need that. TSA be ransacking my shit when I travel. Sean, how's the weather out there? How's Gene?
Gene's all right.
Good.
All right.
Good.
Tony,
coming back out there in a couple weeks.
That'd be good.
Good.
Tony, where are you at in Australia?
Sorry.
Where are you at in Australia?
So I'm in southern New South Wales. It's only about 350 k's north of Melbourne, or 450 k north of Melbourne. Sonia lives on the Gold Coast. Yeah, it's beautiful up there in Queensland, but it's very cold down here at the moment.
Hot over here. Thank God. All right. Laurel, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. What do you want to start off with first? The power of attorney?
Yes.
All right. Laurel's going to go over the docs today because I'm at my friend's house. I'm traveling to Missouri tomorrow, and I packed my files away in my suitcase. So this is your simple, the power of attorney that I used. I'll post my new power of attorney in the group. You guys can use that one too. But to keep everything simplified, this is the first one that I've ever done, and it works. It's fine. The only thing that you could do after these docs is put your own little spice to them, your own little codes, add your UCC1 number, security agreement, like stuff like that. But this gets the job done. So the first document that we're going to go over is just your power of attorney. This, when you fill out your IRS Form 2848, this will go with IRS Form 2848. You have to send your power of attorney to the Criminal Investigation Department, and then making you the person. You want to be the personal representative of the estate, and you have to have your will in place, and then you go into probate. And then I went over that book, and it gives you the step-by-step 1 through 10 and how to go through probate and get the title of executor and personal representative for the estate. And then when you guys file your 82s with the IRS, your fiduciary title will be executor. And that's another way of showing who you are in court, along with your IRS Form 56 appointed judges and clerks, everybody fiduciary trustee, etc. And then I'll show you guys how to fill out Form 56s as well. And we're going to go over the legal notice and demand. The legal notice and demand is if you go to your security agreement and you click and you go to your Schedule A and it goes to letter G, this is the legal notice and demand. I think this is one of Tim Turner's, which is, it's all legit stuff. He just contracted and didn't know how to put up the bonds. I know a guy that was actually in jail with him. He said he's pretty smart and he was working on getting himself out. I don't know what the status is on it. But, so we'll be going over the legal notice of demand, and then we'll go over the W-8 Ben, which makes you the beneficiary, and you'll get that stamped by the IRS. And then if we have time, we'll go through an executive letter. And that's one of my favorite documents, is the executive letter, making you chief executive office. So you guys will be CEOs of these, you know what I mean, of your estates. And we'll go over the affidavit of secured party creditor. And Laura, we did reservation. Okay, so Laura, if you just want to go over the power of attorney.
Sure.
Or just pull it up and I'll go over it with them.
Okay.
You're good.
Okay.
All right, so this is the power of attorney, and again, it's my initials, date of birth, 1987, last four of my social, / the name of the contract, POA, power of attorney. And again, I keep everything in blue because that's the trade name that's lost at sea. It's an admiralty law. And then I'm establishing it that's the trust. And then the last name, first name, middle is how you come in privately. And all this is just giving rights over to the secured party, granting unto said attorney in fact full power and authority to do and perform all and every act and thing whatsoever requisite, necessary or appropriate to be done in and about all matters, as fully to all intents and purposes as I might or could do if I was personally present, and hereby ratifying all that my attorneys in fact shall lawfully do are caused to be done by virtue of these presents. The powers and authority hereby conferred upon my said attorney in fact shall be applicable to all real and private property, personal property, or interest therein now owned or hereinafter acquired by me as the Ens Legis LLC, and wherever situate, as evidenced by filed security interest. So what that's saying is when we go to the when I show you guys how to file your initial UCC1, putting your first claim in for taking over your estate and it's not being left abandoned, in the collateral section, we're going to reference all these contracts that we just went over. And then we're going to say reference our attachment A or reference our Schedule A to the security agreement, and that's going to go over all your security interests in your property. And we'll go over that. So, I mean, simple document. It's just basically, hey, I'm taking over. I'm the only one that could speak for this estate. I'm the personal representative. I'm attorney in fact. Sui juris, never pro se. Pro se is garbage. You always want to be sui juris. Your counterclaims in accordance to federal rules, Civil Procedure Rule 13. You put a bill of complaint in federal or in district court. Because in accordance to Title 28, USC Section 1333, the district courts have original jurisdiction, and it's admiralty jurisdiction always. And when we come in as plaintiffs or claimants, and the state will be the defendant, and we put our bill of complaint, our bill of equity in. That's where you get your restitution from. You put your affidavit of what happened, and then whatever the crime was, estate embezzlement, you go into Title 18, deprivation of rights, and then you add up all the charges. And you send your affidavit and bill of complaint to the state commissioner for the insurance. I was just reading this. So once you send it to him, that puts an automatic lien on the judge, the cops, the clerks. Because after that, that's where you get your insurance claim from. And then once you take their insurance, and the way that you put their insurance on the UCC1, so you attach their property. After you put the lien, you attach their property to them on the UCC1. You go to the Secretary of State, you file a criminal complaint, you attach it, and then you get a writ. Once you have them in default, you default them, you get a writ, and then you take possession of the property. You go to the Secretary of State, and then you go to the sheriff, and you send the sheriff to go get your property. That's what they do to you, salvagers. That's all they do. They get you in default, they get you to not answer, they get you to be silent. Silence of acquiescence is the tactic. Your non-answer is an answer. So when you guys are sending them paperwork and they're not answering you, they're not ignoring you, they're agreeing with you. So you have to complete your private administrative process. We'll go over this. But anyway, so all right, so this is 2 signatures. We have the juror at the bottom, so it's notarized, becomes a witness, true in fact. And there's your signature block. And then at the bottom, it's just your footnotes. And there it is. There's your power of attorney. Real simple. Laura will post it to the group, the template. I'll put both of my templates there tomorrow when I land. I'll send them to her. She probably got them. Okay. We'll go pull up the legal notice and demand. We'll get that one on the way. That's pretty. All right. So you guys are all going to have to get 3 registered mail numbers. The main registered mail numbers are going to be for your BC bond order at 100 million. And the reason you're getting a registered mail number is because that's how you make private funds public. And then once registered, they'd be like, so if you register a note, it becomes a security. Anything you register with the UCC becomes a security. Title 15. So you're going to need 3 registered mail numbers. So the first one, again, for the BC bond order. The second one's going to be for a bill of exchange, an international bill of exchange, and your third one's going to be for your indemnity bond, which is your insurance, which insures you. So if you want health insurance, medical insurance, car insurance, you reference these bonds. It takes 90 days to cure. So when I first sent my treasury pack out and a month and a half went by, I was like, all right, either the feds are kicking my door in, or they figured I was just trying to help my family out, and I'm just going to say we're going to keep your paperwork and just don't do anything else. But then all of a sudden, November 2015, I got a green card back, and then I knew once I got the green card back that my bonds were cured and my account was open. Now it just took me another year and about 2 years to learn banking, pretty much. And then, I mean, I've been blessed to have learned some new information lately, but we'll get there. So anyways, the registered mail number that you're seeing at the top is going to be your main one. That's going to go on your treasury pack on the outside of it when you register it, send it. This is also going to go to your Secretary of State as a public notice. I'll put a list of the pack of what goes to who and where. We'll put that together for Laura, and we'll post it in the group. And then you'll know. So we'll put a pack for like a secure party package. We'll put a court package. We'll put a private administrative procedure package together. That's what we'll be working on for the next couple of weeks, along with touching up the bill of complaint. If you want the bill of complaint template, it's in a read called "Are You Lost at Sea?" And I forget the author of it, but that's where I read that thing like 14 times. And then once I got the one book that on equity of jurisprudence, and I read the bill of complaint, and I understood what the bill of complaint was, and then I went back to that read there. That was the boss bill of complaint, and then all I had to do was dissect it, add my sauce and my codes into it, and that's basically all I'm doing now. And I'm still growing into it. That's why I haven't showed anybody it really, because it's not perfected yet. All right. So you're gonna ask, all right, well, I need my UCC file number. That's fine. You can always add it in. We do these before you get your UCC file number, because once you're doing all this, you're supposed to, once you're all done, you file a UCC. But we're you know what I mean, we're going over after a few weeks, we're expanding it. It's not like we're doing it in a couple of days and we're all doing it all at once. So that's why you don't have your UCC number yet, but you will. So just make a note that on your legal notice and demand on the first page up at the top, you have to add your UCC1 number once you get it. And we'll probably file the UCCs next week for you guys. I'll do somebody's online in class next Wednesday. And it'll be your first initial filing, non-UCC. Then you get a certified copy from the Secretary of State. Put a $1 stamp on it. You sign it, and there you go. Boom. Now you got a lien on your estate, and it's a note. It's a private contract, but you're going to make a public notice with a few important people, letting them know that you're not lost at sea anymore. You've come to reclaim what's rightfully yours. You're an heir. You're a successor. I know people that are ordering their great-grandfather certificates, finding their military discharges, anything in their name that they could find. They're creating a family trust, and they're authenticating all these documents, and then that's part of, you can lodge them as securities, I believe, as well. The lodging of your birth certificates is wrong. It's not how it's done. That's one of the things that I learned this week. It's close. You don't do your birth certificates though. Your affidavits and your UCC1s, your defaults, etc. Yes, you lodge them, get a dividend payout. But what everybody thinks the treasury card is not how they think it is, even a little bit. We'll get into that in a couple of weeks. So it's going to be attention, to all state, federal, and international public officials buying through your state. Mine would be New York, Secretary of State, so I think it's Rosada. Take notice, ignorance of the law is no excuse. This is a contract in admiralty jurisdiction. Take a moment to read before you proceed any further. I do not wish to speak to you under any circumstances, excluding federal judicial review. Usually when you deal with the feds, they just deal with money. Money laundering, bank robberies. It's always money with the feds. Tax evasion. That's what, the feds go over the big stuff, big stuff. All right, so the first page, you just, you put your private name in, last name, first name, middle. Then it's going into number 2, this notice is nature of a Miranda warning. Take due heed of the contents. If for any reason you do not understand any of these statements or warnings, it is incumbent upon you to summon a superior officer, special prosecutor, or federal judge, or other competent legal counsel to immediately explain to you the significance of the presentment as per your duties and obligations in respect to the private, formal, notarized, registered, statute-stapled security instrument, as per Title 11 U.S.C. 501A, 502A, 7001, and 7013. And Federal Rules of Civil Procedures, Sections 8-A and 13-A, as the presumptions that I, private name, am a debtor to the United States or any of its agencies. That I am a debtor. Or any agencies or subcorporations is for everybody by this contract. I think you should put not, because you have your private name there, so it should say I am not a debtor. Or you have to put your all capital letter name. I gotta see what I did. See, I don't have my docs, and I know I changed some of this stuff up. Anyway, it's not that significant. Just make note of that. I'm glad I caught that. All right, go up to the other page and finish this other paragraph. Or that's it for 2. All right. Page 2 is your legal notice and demand, or it's part of your legal notice. Keep going down. All right, go to 4. The undersigned tendering this document is a private people posterity, a sovereign personam sojourn by fact, not a 14th Amendment citizen or surety within. This doesn't take your temple back as a surety. What replaces you as a surety is a surety bond. That's what they want in court. They want bonds. They want to see if you know how to administer your estate. It's okay that it's cool you got all the titles and you put your claim in, but if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't know how to fish, then it's no good anyways. If you don't know how to hold them accountable properly in a respectful manner, then it just creates more belligerent controversy. So when they're talking about surety, or you're not surety for that all cap name, that none of that shit matters. You have to put a surety bond in when you go into court, and they have to put their insurance because they're all insured. That's why I think sending your affidavits to the state commissioner for insurance will weigh heavy, because they can't hide behind internet or international sovereign. They can't hide behind none of that stuff. Can't behind badge. They're not stopped. Believe me. If you're injured, that's why most of these lawyers are injured. They're for injuries, because everybody gets injured. Your estate, you're trespassed on, etc. But they want a surety bond. There's no, I'm not surety. I don't stand under your rule. None of that stuff. It doesn't. That's nothing to do with it. It's all pony show. Well, what you doing? All right.
I was muting myself because Ornella was in the room. So.
Oh, so Max is gonna start howling?
I hope not.
All right. All right. So, 14th Amendment citizen or surety within, or subject for or allegiance to your corporate United States, or to any de facto compact corporate commercial states contracting therein, only to the United States of America, nonetheless carrying with me exclusive original sovereign jurisdiction and venue, having one Supreme Court and United States Court of International Trade, now being a matter of public record, tendered by way of registered mail. See that? Tendered by way of registered mail to California Secretary of State. Hence, recorded pages upon the Liber records and books from. All right, so when you get into Liber Code, that's where you get your belligerence from, and that's where you get your martial law from. And the South's been in martial law from, it's been martial law. That's why all the cops are becoming, it's more militarized now, because the United States is the military wing. And people think we're the banks, but we're not the bank, even though we print our own money, modern money mechanics 3. Switzerland's the banks. Post office, postal union. That's the new world order is the post office, because all commerce is tracked through that. So that's why they have a grip on everything. Hence, record page. Register of the deeds offices. So you go to the registrar and you go to the deeds offices. This is where you're going to be mailing the stuff to. From but not limited to the Los Angeles County and Ventura, Orange. So you list your county, and this is listing 4 other counties surrounding your county. That's what that is. All right, keep going down. This is. Then you put the Secretary of State's name in there. We'll keep going down. 6. Silence of a corporate office. Secretary of State ratifies servances of any nexus or relationship to de facto corporate commercial state offices, being fraudulent, conveyance by operating under color of authority upon affiant. Let this be known by undersigned's good faith Oxford doctrine. And remember, I told you guys, every time you send a letter out or you sign stuff, I always handwrite in there, this letter and my intentions are in good faith. To all men and women, I do not consent to any warrantless searches or searches that are not compliant with the Constitution for the United States of America. I remember someone talking about, maybe you guys heard me talking about, you can't, now this is important, you can't enforce the Constitution because you haven't signed it. Right? So if you took your state constitution and you had you signed it and you accepted it, and you had a certified copy of it, and then you authenticated it, what's that doing? Huh. I think somebody's going to have to uphold their oath of office after that. Well, who knows? Anyways, to all men and women, rights, America, Constitution for the United States of America, and / or all of the amendments of the Honorable Bill of Rights, whether of my dwellings, cars, landcraft, watercraft, aircraft, me, mine, current location, property, hotel rooms, apartments, business records, business or machinery, vehicles, equipment, supplies, buildings, grounds, land in my private possession or control, past, present, and future, now and forevermore, so help you God. So that was a good one. All right, so this, you guys could just keep going through here. If you read number 9, it'll go into United States Codes, annotated. Title 18 is where you put Title 18 is where you pull your criminal codes from. So when I was just telling you about the affidavit, and you're going to list all the Title 18 offenses, I mean, you could probably find 25 or 30 from a simple police officer just pulling you over for no reason without warrant. So anyways, keep going down, Laura. All right, let me read number 8. A true and correct notarized copy of the statute staple security instrument is safely deposited. See, this is where I think I put special deposit. I took safely out, put special deposit in Register of Deeds offices in Los Angeles County, California, and with several trusted friends accompanying sworn affidavits certifying my policy of presenting the security instrument to each and every public officer who approaches the undersigned, violating my unalienable rights, including, but not limited to, my right of liberty and free movement upon any common pathway of travel. I have a lawful right to travel by whatever means, via land, sea, or air, without any officer, agent, employee, attorney, or judge that in any manner willfully causes adverse effects or damages upon the undersigned by an arrest, detainment, restraint, or deprivation. I will be granted the status and treatment of a foreign sovereign, a foreign diplomat, by all customs officials. This document or the deposit copy becomes an evidentiary document certified herein, as if not fully reproduced, should any court action be taken upon the undersigned as caused by your acts under color of law with you, your officers, and employees. Take note, you are now monetarily liable. Take note, you are now liable, monetary liable, in your personal corporate capacity. I take the free man stuff out, and then I put the national, and I put the Title 8 section 101 or 1001 21A next to where it says free man. I really don't use that much sovereign lingo unless I'm invoking the International Sovereign Immunities Act. That's the only, you know what I mean? And you invoke that on your passports and stuff. Traveling, that's the only time that you invoke stuff like that. Other than that, I try to stay away from sovereign words. All right. National, with notwithstanding anything contrary, abides by all laws in accordance with the aforementioned Bill of Rights and applicable sovereigns and wishes, no harm to any man. You agree by your non-response to uphold my right to travel, or you must rebut my presumption by lawfully documented evidence in law, and for the record under oath and penalty of perjury, within 30 days, as aforementioned in the Admiralty contract. All right, so this goes into B. This is, you'll see attachment B where it has all your definitions that we have in here. So keep going down, Laura, please. Keep going down. All right, so go into the go up one. Keep going. All right, right there. Up, down. See where all the violations are? Go to that. Go to those. Yeah, right there. Page 5 and 6. And there, see, all right, so this goes into the codes and the penalties that it carries with. start putting this stuff down on affidavits and leaning on, I'm not going to say judges, but you start leaning on your trespassers, just like they do to you. Because at the end of the day, business is business, what I'm told. But, all right, so, I mean, threat and coercion, deception, or attempted deception by any officer of the court, $2 million. You know, once this is lodged and nothing is rebutted, it becomes fact. That's why your certificate of service and sending everything through a jurat and your notary process is important. You have your witnesses. And then when you put them, you know, on notice and nothing is rebutted after 30 days, it stands as law. Then it gets into garnishment, deprivation, the placing of unlawful and improper lien, levy, impoundments, or garnishment against any funds, bank accounts, saving accounts, retirement funds, investment funds, social security funds, intellectual property, or any other property belonging to natural man or women, secured party by any agency as aforementioned herein, $2 million US, units of silver per occurrence, and $100,000 units of silver dollars per day penalty until liens, levies, impoundments, and garnishments are ended and all funds reimbursed and all property returned in the same condition as it is when it's taken with 18% annual interest in my declared valued property. All right, keep going down. Then it has your caveat, so it basically says you either follow this or, you know, meet the wrath. Keep going down. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. So that means they just can't tell you always just following orders. Yeah, all right, bro. That's fine. I'm just following procedure now. Watch. Keep going down. You can go over this. Isn't that, you know what I mean? Not that hard to read. It's a good read. Then you go, all right, so one on the right over here, page 10, bottom paragraph. UCC 1 Finance shall follow with articles and attachments as set forth therein. There is no contradiction of terms written with confines of this title pursuant to the Constitution of the United States of America. If any contradiction is found, the meaning will be determined by the secure party. All right, keep going down. All right, and now this is your notice to the county registers of deeds. So the clerk, the registrar, the court clerk, or county clerk, I mean, notify them. You know, I have a letter that they don't file this or record it, they're facing felony fines. Felony fines, up to 3 years in prison. Then you get the LS. It's a Latin term. So the first witness, I forget what it is, but that's a Latin term for signatory, and those are Latin terms.
Loci sigilli.
Thank you. I knew you knew it. All right, keep going down, Laurel. Okay, so see, it goes into your attachments. This is your attachment A. This is going to be all your property. Okay, your attachment B will be definitions, and then attachment C is, of course, your UCC 1, and I add my security agreement with this. You'll see. And then you just go in here. So it asks, this is, all right, so go to right here. Yes, 115, 116, 117. Let me explain the importance of this shit. You guys are all private bankers in accordance to Title 31 USC 5312. You're all banks. You're all creators. You all have the ability to create funds. Your signature creates everything. Now, banks keep ledgers. What you're going to have to be keeping track of, and you have to register promissory notes, offset bonds, and indemnity bonds. So I'll show you. You can look mine up. on the UCC, when you look my name up and you go to the New York Secured Party lookup, you can see my filings on this. And then again, these are your registered mail numbers. So what you're doing is you're registering indemnity bonds, which is insurance, offset bonds, which goes with your promissory notes, and you'll keep a ledger. So one way of purchasing things is creating your own promissory note, doing a set-off bond, and indemnity bond, tying everything together. I've learned there's other ways of getting shit done this past week. Maybe I can have someone come in here and speak about it, but what they've been showing me is new to me. I had to sign a non-disclosure about it, so I ain't going into it. But she told me that, they told me that this works. What I've done was right, but they've simplified things. So what I'm basically trying to tell you is, someone showed me how to get the estate funding at $11 million per year, and I'm being walked through it right now. So that's why I really can't go over it with you guys, because there's a certain motherfucker that's going over it with me, if you can catch my drift. But what this is doing is it's registering your promissory notes, because you're going to be making prom notes. You're going to be making pretty much your own checks. Sean knows how to do this. Sean knows what I'm talking about, sending donations to Social Security and stuff. But this registers everything. So this is how. And then when I spoke about getting a FINS number with the DTCC, and then as my mate over in Australia is getting an international securities number, these will be your FINS numbers will be going on your private checks. And what I'm also being walked through is how to set up, if you don't have your account set up properly and you're still getting these monthly bills, they're showing me how to take care of those monthly bills. So anyways, that's the importance of that part that I wanted to go over. And then, like I said, you can look me up on the Secure Party and see everything that I have registered. I've just created my first one. I'm going to buy stuff right now, and they told me it takes about 2 weeks. So after I get back from Missouri, I'll be buying stuff up, showing you guys that this shit is real. The discharging is real. The defaulting is real. Getting paid out on dividends is real. Your estate is real. The power that you have that they don't want you to know is real. Okay. So anyways, this is just your attachment B. It's nothing too strenuous. It goes over basic vocabulary of what was written through the document. So just go down that a little bit. Gets into racketeering, federal zones, state, conspiracies, cruel and unusual punishment, what state means. But you guys can look this over, and like I said, you can add to it if you want. You can take shit out, make it yours, grow into it. Because everybody wants a remedy or somebody's paperwork or a template and a procedure, but at the end of everything, the real remedy is just knowing who you are and standing on your square. Everything else is just a little bit of paperwork and, staying in honor. That's all it is. And then just basically not being scared to hold your officials and your public servants and your public trustees accountable for their actions. Because if you're acting through love and light and you're doing everything right and you're living proper, then there's, they're trespassing. We forgive you, but after so many times, you got to start being held accountable for your actions, my man. That's where liabilities come in. All right. So go down. I think that's it for the B, right? We went through attachment A. And then on the attachment A, they'll have ones where they're asking for your birth certificate number, add all your BC numbers, your COLB. And then again, remember, whenever they want your social, always add that private bond number on the back of your social with the letter. And yeah, go up, see where your G is. Yeah, right there. So 97, I think, was one. Go down. Yeah, right there. Right there. 102. So that's a social, and then the bond number, G. So then you have your public and private both claims.
Birth files 38.
And 38.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
All right. All right. That's good for that one. Pull up the affidavit of secured party.
Made up name.
It's all good, slime. All right. So this is just an affidavit that of your secured status. Up at the top, start with your private name, last name, first name, middle. Then you put your care of address, your zip codes. It goes in brackets. It leaves you out of the federal zone. Attention all corporate agencies, trademark, and your common law copyright basically trademarks it. Same thing. You can put trust there or estate. Doesn't matter. They both work the same. The estate. So when you're filing for your 98 EIN, for the estate EIN, they want your death certificate because they want everything collapsed, dissolved. And then that's where you become the authorized representative, and now you're controlling all the res. So say if you're at the bank and you open up an account with them and you send them a check for special deposit. Now you've created a trust relationship, right? And they're the trustee, and then once you send it to them, now they owe you performance, or they have to send it back to you and give you a reason why they couldn't deposit it. Or because if they don't give you reason, then they're conspiring your right to contract. So what I've been learning is the res and then the trust relationship, and then what they have to perform to the res and how to get them to perform to that res, the trust property. So like your promissory notes when you're going for houses and mortgages, that's the res, that's the trust property. When you're in court and you don't put a surety bond, your body's the res, your trust property. You're the property. That's why we have human resources. And that's why if you're not using your head, you're just treated as a piece of cattle. And you're branded and et cetera, et cetera. Anyways. So this is just your social security number. The way that I got it, it was the 3 numbers, a dash, then the rest of them, then a /, then your social security number without dashes. And then this is, again, it's just a distinguishment of showing a difference between a debtor and a creditor. All right, well, all commercial contracts listing the debtor have been lawfully canceled, rescinded, and revoked, and are invalid and unenforceable. As a sovereign creditor and secured party, I am distinguished and set apart as, see, I wish I had my docs, because my docs don't read like this. Anyways, because you just pulled up the temps, I know. Anyways, don't use sovereign. I use foreign national or American national and secured party. Secured party is fine. Or I put in executor. When I sign my name, I put executor. When I sign my name now, I put estate at the end of it. Just learned that my P.O. box is a suite. Once you make it a suite, you become international. I was just walked through on how to take your vital statistics address. So you take where you were born, and then you make it yours. You change it to your suite address, your P.O. box number. So all the mail and the lawyers that be getting your stuff for the Department of Vital Statistics should all be coming to you now. And then when the government or anybody tries to contact you or try to speak to you, then the significance is just in the way they type in the EINs with the dash. That's how I had it. But usually I just do with the nut, like an 82 dash or 98. I've never seen one with the 3. So anyways, I'm just doing this as set apart as a separate entity from debtor established by lawful filings into public and noticed with the Secretary of State and the United States Treasurer. My identity, this is your private name, trademarked and copywritten, Polinsky Peter Joseph. is copywritten, no agency or person has authorization to use. So again, if you get pulled over and your name's copywritten, you're not going to send the contract and they're just creating contracts and securities in your name without your consent. Well, all right, buddy, guess what? Now it's copyright infringement and it's $500,000 per. See ya. Your agency is hereby ordered by estoppel to remove all computer entries, records, histories, paper documents, references, and details to the name of the debtor and give notice to the secured party address below. Failure to comply is considered an international criminal action under Uniform Commercial Codes with severe penalty at law. Another thing I just learned. So every time that we send stuff out to them or we want an answer or we want a response, you have to send them a return address envelope. So like you do when you're authenticating your birth certificate and you put the envelope in to send it back to you, you send that in for your bills and get everything stamped. You send that in for payments, the bank statements. You send it back to them, and then you send them a return address because they're your trustees, and you want to see that they handle their business. And this is the importance of sending it through a notary and then sending it through PS Form 3877 for a mailing book. Now you got two witnesses, and that's all you need. Two witnesses and yourself. That's as good as gold. Right, and then bottom, last name. Put your all cap name, estate. You're the sole shareholder, chief executive. You run the estate. You administer the estate. They're there to perform for you. They're there to protect you. I never used Form 3806.
So before I posted that chat, you were chatting about the vital statistics office address is in a change of address. What were you, and using the suite number?
Right. Okay. Right. So I took the New York vital statistics address, and then I changed it to my PO box. But I don't use PO box anymore. I use suite, and suite is what makes everything international.
How did you change the vital statistics office of New York to be your PO box?
I did the change of address.
Oh, so you did a change of address for your all caps name to be relocated from the registration at Vital Statistics to your PO box.
Yes.
Okay.
I think you showed me that.
I did. I was just making sure.
All right, good. I was like, all right, cool. So does that sound right?
I did.
You say it how it's supposed to be said, because you say it. All right, so you're taking. Go ahead.
Your birth registration that happened at the hospital, the registration was abandoned, so that registration still sits at the hospital. So you have to move the registration from where it was abandoned at the hospital at birth, where it happened, and you do a change of address, relocating the birth registration to your current address. And the business name is the name on the birth certificate. It's a business name. It's not a first, last, middle. It's a business name. And the change date, you want to go all the way back. You can go all the way back to when it was legally registered, not the birth date. The birth date is the flesh. The legal registration date, when the entity became into existence, was the legal registration date. That's on your certificate of live birth. Mine's 10 days after my birth date, after my mom went through labor on the 19th of December. I was born on the 9th. The 19th of December, it was legally registered. So that's the day the legal entity, the all caps name, came into existence. So that's the date of the beginning of the change of address, going all the way back. And it's a permanent change of address. All caps name on the birth certificate is the legal name, is the legal business name, and you do the hospital address. And you want to go from the old address, which is the hospital address, to the new address, which is your address. And I would use the rural route non-domestic address personally. And then I signed the instrument, the change postal change of address as executor general. I put a index fingerprint on the over the date. And I made a photocopy of that change of address, because they don't give you a receipt when you do a change of address at the post office. So I photocopied the change of address and swore that was a true and accurate copy of the original, had a notary witness the true and accurate copy affidavit, And when I went to the post office with that true and accurate copy of the original notarized, I handed the postal clerk the original, and she round stamped my copy. So there's two witnesses to what I sent in. I just like having all the chains of title to know what happened. And weirdly enough, I have two names. I was adopted, so I have Sean Hayes' birth name, Sean Scott Haggerty, doing business as name, and I sent them both in same time to the same location. A couple of weeks later, I got a white envelope with blue letters, and it said Sean Scott Haggerty, showing that the address changed. The birth name, Sean Hayes, came on a white envelope with a red banner, and it said President Sean Hayes. So there's something in the postal records that creates an agency was created by the birth registration, and there's a president of that agency. So the adopted name had no special. I even sent the adopted name up to Montgomery, where the adoption happened, and I came back to some normal Sean Scott Haggerty. But something in the postal records, because I went to the post office hospital, I think it was like 6 months before the change of address, and I said, I want all my records because I'm getting older. I want to know what happened with the incubator I was in and everything like that. And they said, oh, we don't have any records. They're all destroyed before 1997. I said, well, could I get a letter to that effect? Because it gives me an administrative push to the next level. She goes, oh, that makes perfect sense. And she typed up a letterhead letter saying there was no records. And then so there's nothing at the hospital in these records. My records are not at the hospital. Then I do a change of address, and something in the postal records has President Sean Hayes. All I put was Sean Hayes in the business name, and I put Sean Scott Haggerty as the business name on the adopted name to the same address. And one got president, and one didn't. Two different envelopes. So that's the change. That's the relocating the register. I know somebody who's been using a certain name their whole life, and they did the change of address, and they did not get the red bannered envelope. The name they've been using is not their original birth name.
Wow.
Yeah, how about that? He actually found out that he actually was born with a different first name, and he had a different dad that no one told him.
Oh, shit. Well, see, that's what I'm talking about, guys. See how amazing he is? And this is what I'm talking about. Lord Sean, he knows how to get all this stuff done.
No, PJ knows more than me, though.
No, I don't. Don't do that. Don't do that. I've been learning from you. I can't wait to get back out there, too. I miss you guys. Thank you. Would you be willing to have a class on that?
Sure. I could do that.
All right, we could do that. We'll get that in order. And then you can have all the funds. I usually just pay Laura a little bit from that, and you can have all the classmate stuff. We'll make an announcement because I don't need the money. That would be a great class. It'd be very informative. All right, Laura, what's next? W8 Ben?
Everybody mute.
Ooh, somebody's echoing.
T Rice.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
Go ahead.
All right. So the W8 Ben is going to go with your treasury pack. It's just showing you to be the beneficiary of the trust, your state, etc. And then the first line I do, this is when I was still doing the dashes, but it'll be last name, comma, first name, comma, middle, the care of address first, and then I have the P.O. box. You could put suite down now. I would put suite.
Yeah, the post, they're writing to me now with my rural route number and using the proper name.
Now, can you elaborate on a rural route number and what it actually is? Because nobody's ever, I don't think too many people have heard what those are.
There's two mail systems. You have the postal carrier mail system and the United States mail systems, and they're different rates for using each one of the mail systems. It's still 2 cents of first class mail in the postal carrier mails, and it's 49.50 cents, whatever it is, for the U.S. mails. So there's a rural route, which is a postal carrier route, and then you have this zip code district military mail, and you can go to the USPS, go to the U.S. Postal Service, and you can look up your address. It will show you the carrier route. They used to have RFD, rural RFD nomenclature, but I was reading the DMM a couple of months ago, Domestic Mail Manual, and they like to use RR, rule route. They don't use RFD anymore.
Really?
The rule route is the carrier route, and the carrier route you find at USPS.gov or .com. You type in your address, the PO box, or whatever else it is, and they'll show you the carrier route, and it's RR carrier route, street address, but there's no zip code. It's zip exempt because it's a rural route. Zip codes only exist in the U.S. mail system. They don't exist in the postal carrier system.
Gotcha. Amazing.
So,
thank you.
USPS.gov.
Thank you.
Someone asked me about using tax per queue. I don't use tax per queue per se. I use UPU, free mail, and I send registered mail, free mail, certified mail, return receipt. They all have return receipts with it. On the return receipt, I use a 2-cent stamp, not their free. Even mousetraps have free cheese, so I don't use their free return receipt, and I put a 2-cent stamp on the little green card return receipt. And I use a UPU free mailing, and I do certificates of mailing and everything with it, and it gets through just fine. I do not use U.S. zip code mailing addresses when I do the UPU free mail.
Awesome.
It doesn't cost me.
Larry knows how to send registered mail for free because he knows that we're foreign agents. Right, Larry?
I think Larry's gone.
No, he's here.
Yeah, he's there.
Sure, I think I'm muted.
Oh, you're down.
There you go. Thanks, Larry.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I've been sending tax per queue for a while. The only problem that I've ever had is in my own town, believe it or not. And when I do have an issue, because I noticed the Postmaster General, I just send that location a copy of the notice, and my mail gets released.
What notice?
I noticed the Postmaster General basically telling her who I am, who she is, and she better butt out of my business. It's about 18 pages long. I'd be glad to send it to you.
Sure.
I'll share it with the group.
Yeah, I have a notice that's directly on the face of my free UPU mail on the left-hand side, and I have a sticker or a printout on the back of Title 18 if the postal clerk tries to charge more fees. That's only the postmaster can do that, and it's a 5-year criminal offense if they try to charge more fees. It's only happened one time, and I said, well, no, you wanted it. No, you can have it. But I don't get pushed. All I do is hand over and they look at it and they just go ahead and process it says UPU. Mine doesn't say tax per queue. Mine just says UPU RL designation. I don't have it in front of me. I've heard of tax per queue.
Can you send me a link on that, or is it as simple as looking up free UPU?
I'll send it to PJ. I'll send an example to PJ if he doesn't already have it, and he can share it out.
Yeah, I'd be interested to take a look at that.
Okay,
Sean's got a bunch of sauce in his corner. He's got a bunch. I learned a lot from Sean.
Thank you.
A lot.
Thank you.
Oh, let me offer this while I'm unmuted. It's off topic, but if you guys know anyone that has tax liens or judgments from the IRS, we can make them disappear in 90 days.
Beautiful.
I want to. I have a couple. But you know, it's funny.
I'll be glad to hear. What's that?
Yeah, I'll work with you. But here's the interesting thing. When I looked it up in the system, I'm the grantee of their grant of that amount.
It's funny.
The IRS is the grantor, and I'm the grantee. It's
Well,
not a lien; it's a grant. I know. I'm the 1099A the money.
Yeah.
So when you go in the system, it's not actually a lien; it's a grant.
Yeah. Acquisition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, basically what you do is you'll sue the IRS commissioner from your living room. You won't pay a filing fee because that gives them jurisdiction. And you'll get a court order saying that it's being dismissed for lack of jurisdiction.
Woo!
I want that. That'd be fun. But I still want my $74,000.
Well,
I want it all.
I'll do that. Thank you, Larry. I'll share.
Thanks, Larry. That'd be
Absolutely.
awesome. I know how to get liens and levies away too. I mean, it sounds right what he's doing with the commissioner and stuff. You go right at him.
Let's
And he's
see.
right about the filing fees, and then that gives them jurisdiction as well. I get it. I mean, it's all conscious. I get it. It's this shit is in depth, man. It really is. And I mean, I learn something new every day. I talk to somebody and they give me their little outlook, and I'm like, word, man. All right, cool. You know what I mean? And I tell them what I've learned. It's just cool comparing ideas with everybody. It's a real honor to do it. So I appreciate everybody sharing their wins, successes, and their stories and stuff. It's really cool. I appreciate it.
I don't mean to sidetrack over all the forms we go over today.
There is no, you can't sidetrack because everything you say is massively important. Everything, you know what I mean? So you can't really sidetrack. People just gonna have to replay what I used to do with Gene stuff. I used to listen to it 4 times over, stop it, write shit down, go back, just dissect it. It's all sauce. It's all helping people, it's all been done. It's all been replicated. I've done it. You showed it to me. It worked the way that you told me it was going to work. So there's more to complain about, And then someone brought something up to me today about Yusuf's calling Gene a fraud. I'm sick of this Yusuf character. I swear to God, I swear.
Oh, Joseph.
Gene's the furthest thing from a fraud, all right? When I say I learned 90% of this stuff from Gene, I've learned 90% of the stuff from Gene. When a guy references publications, codes, procedures, rules, and you go back and read them, I just don't see where the fraud zone activity is. I'm sorry. I'm not going to get off track, but the shit pisses me off. Motherfucker, I swear to God. Excuse me. My bad. Anyways, back to the W8 Ben. So your suite number, then you get to your 5. These are all the codes. I'll post the template into the group so you can see the codes more precisely. It goes into the codes of federal regulations. It goes into the non-resident alien. Publications 515 is a good one. 31 CFR 306.103 34A subsection 3 is a good one. But simple form. Sign it, last name, first name, middle, estate, or executor, executrix, date it. And then I've been putting $1 stamps on everything, signing it in gold, and then I'm done using my social security. So now I'm doing everything with my estate EIN, my 82 number. And then I think we'll do that one day too. But see, the tough part with that is I might have to do it, record it, and go over it in class because you have to do these while the IRS offices are open. So that's just going to be a little tricky. So maybe I'll help someone. We'll do a Zoom with somebody. I'll record it going through if someone wants to volunteer for it. I'll walk them through how to get the 82 number. It'll take us 5 minutes, no less, or no longer than that.
Online for an estate?
Yeah, estate EIN. Because you have the Cesta K Trust, right? And then you have your estate within the Cesta K Trust. So what this paperwork is doing is putting that claim on the estate within that trust. And then what we're doing is we're creating our own estates. So we're taking our estate and then our 98 foreign grantor trust, putting that estate into the foreign grantor trust that we control, that we're the grantors of. And then you set up your Treasury direct accounts with your 82, you put your FINS number on it, you get your medallion stamp. Open up an investment account. That's when you start defaulting people and getting paid off dividends. You go to your Secretary of State, you get a certificate of default. But you have to exhaust your private administrative procedure first with the company. Usually I'm talking about for like loan servicing companies and stuff like that. As soon as you go into district court with a bill of complaint or a bill of equity, as I'm about to, I'm going to Missouri we've been battling this freaking custody case, and it's ridiculous. I mean, for me, it's ridiculous. It's just, I know they're teaching me the proper way and the proper procedure. And for me, the way that I like to do things is, hey, I'm keeping my kids. The first person that steps on this lawn to come get them is getting shot. That's my way of doing things. Not everybody's got that kind of heart, and I don't want anybody to have that kind of heart. But so what I had to learn was how to do a bill of complaint in equity. And this is where you're going to get your kids back from the state. And I'm going to be pulling in the CFO, the child support. I'm pulling in all the officers that came and grabbed this guy's kids. I'm pulling in everybody. maritime tort claim, and wow, you'll see. I'm gonna show you all my paperwork that I filed. I'm getting. He's got 10 kids. I'm getting them all back.
You also have human trafficking.
You know what I mean? It's nuts. They don't say it's human trafficking because there's no sexual act involved, and I'm like, fam, what do you mean? You stole a biological product. You can't talk. I mean, this place I'm going.
Who says it's narrowed to that specific thing? It's human trafficking.
Yeah.
It's under the executive order.
I know. But I mean, this dock is damaged, and it's just been wearing on me, and I'm over it. You know what I mean? I'm just over it. So I'm gonna do what's supposed to be right. Like, I'm doing things the right way. The way that they, you know what I mean? The way that they've been correcting me and sending me and corresponding me with, and so I'm doing it the right way. When the cops came for the kids, they were like, Fred, just do it the right way. Do it the right way. And I'm like, what's the right way, fam? We have them claimed. We have the UCC ones. We have the birth certificates authenticated. We sent them the notices. They didn't report. I mean, what? So now I know it's the bill of complaint in district court, and we're bringing everybody in. Writ subpoena on everybody in. You're gonna have to. You're liable for your actions, homie. Yeah, I don't care. Anyways,
there's a guy in Arizona with a traffic ticket, and he wrote him a letter of human trafficking, and they settled with him in chambers for $1 million. So let's make this go away for $1 million.
Well, who the hell is that?
It was over. It was just recently happened a couple of months ago. Since that December 21st last year executive order.
No shit.
Yeah.
See, I mean, there's a bunch of remedies. It's just you have to know who you are and then go, put your affidavit in, go talk to these people.
Mm-hmm. They're in violation of public policy, human trafficking.
Off the bat, you know what I mean? Like right off the bat, as soon as you pull me over, human trafficking.
No, but I'll tell you, even with these kids,
even
with these kids, they're in insurrection and rebellion and human trafficking against the executive order, which is public policy, and it's a military violation. So
right.
So you have to notify powers that be of human trafficking. There's an SF-95 where you actually get the people arrested. Standard Form 95.
Standard Form 95, right.
Yeah.
Right. That's a big boy doc. All right.
Sorry about
Laura,
that.
what else did you want to go over? Or did we go over everything so far?
I think we went over everything so far. Let me look and see if you had anything else for tonight.
Want to pull up the executive letter quick? Because I got to be up at 6:30 for this flight, and it's 10:20 here. So we could do one more. We could do the executive if you want. If not, what else? There's another affidavit we can look up. Not the secured party. Pull up the foreign status one. You can pull mine up if you got my docs.
Let's see. Would you like? What letter?
What did I just say? The executive letter? I know. Pull up the affidavit of foreign status. There you go. And you're gonna pull up on there. Remember, I had a couple documents that I didn't want them open.
I think it's slow because I've got this running.
Oh.
There we go.
All right, this is just your affidavit of foreign status. Preamble. Okay, the following affidavit of foreign status of public notice to all interested parties concerning the affiant's birthrights and his status as an American inhabitant, as a status would apply with respect to the American states, the 50 independent states of the Union, and also respect to the United States as follows. Okay. You gotta go in there and see. All right, so was a national born a free sovereign? And so I would put national. No, I'll leave it in here because it says sovereign states. You're fine. Of the union of several states joined together to compromise the confederation known as the United States of America. He is therefore a non-resident alien individual with respect to the United States. Which entity obtains its exclusive legislative authority and jurisdiction from Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17. See, when I first went into court, I brought in that notebook, and that was the section I rambled off. Well, Judge, this court only, when according to Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17, this court only has Congress allows two jurisdictions. It's either common law or a military tribunal in admiralty. And since there's no injured body here, then we must be in the admiralty. So where's the international treaty in dispute, my guy? Anyways, all right, so in Article 4, Section 3, Clause 2 of the Constitution for the United States of America, the affiant's parents were sovereigns, also born in the sovereign states of the Union. As the progeny of sovereign people, the affiant was born one of the sovereign people. All right, a constituent member of the sovereignty, synonymous with the people, Scott versus Sanford. The affiant is alien to the so-called 14th Amendment United States citizenship. And so when you expatriate, you want to do, or an annulment, you do a formal renunciation of your citizenship with the embassy. So I don't know if you guys want to go that route and how far you want to get into it, but I'm going that route. So the so-called 14th Amendment state residency, and therefore is a non-resident alien with respect to both as a sovereign whose citizenship originated in Connecticut by birth and who has remained intact in California since the year 1998. So she moved from Connecticut to California in 98. She was born, so let's just say she was born in Connecticut, but now she's chilling in California. They're both sovereign states, so it doesn't matter. The affiant is also a foreigner alien with respect to the other 49 states of the Union and with respect to the United States. As a consequence of her birth, the affiant is an American habitant and further. And then it just gets into the codes where you can find non-resident alien with respect to the United States, as the term is defined and used with the Internal Revenue Code, Title 26 United States Code, and Title 27, and rules and regulations promulgated thereunder as follows. The Internal Revenue Code, Title 26, and associated federal regulations clearly and thoroughly make provisions for Americans born and living within one of the 50 sovereign states of America, to wit. And then this goes into the sections. Keep going down. It's not that. It's a good document to read. It's a good document to dissect and go back. I have Laurel, make a note of this. I have a document. It's called IRS Executor, and it goes into detail the Internal Revenue Codes and the taxes and why you're filing Form 706. It goes into why 1040 is a tax itself. Just Laura, write that down. Go over IRS Executor PowerPoint next class.
All right.
Or maybe not next class. Next class, we're going to go over the BC bonds, the International Bill of Exchange, and we're going to wrap your trust up, and then you guys will be able to send your trust out. Then the fun shit begins. Commerce. The whore from Babylon. All right, keep going down. The affiant receives no income. Now, if you talk to Gene about income, we don't have any income. There's no gold and silver. So there's no income to ever report because there's no money. Keep going down, that's fine. Let's see. And then it gets into employer status. Number 13, the affiant has never been a United States employer, nor employee, which also includes but is not limited to an employee or employer for the United States. So see, when you get pulled over and you hand them that state ID and your state registered car, well, they think you work for the state, right?
Did I tell you I got my car recorded as exempt consumer goods in Florida?
Did you?
Yep.
No, you didn't tell me that yet.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is cool. Geez, I mean, you said that nonchalantly, but yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
When-
No registration required. I just
Really?
update the records. Yeah, I'm hoping they'll send me exempt tags.
Well, I'll
otherwise-
send you the thing. You go to the Department of State and you go to the foreign department, and then they send you the diplomatic plates, so you never get pulled over.
That'd be good. Well, you send me those because I've already corrected the record in Florida from my
Okay.
Buick.
Yeah, I got you.
Consumer goods. Exempt.
Okay.
I'll talk about it with you guys later.
All right. So yeah, so when you get pulled over, you hand them a state ID, a state registration. There's jurisdiction over you. They consider you an employee of the United States. So that's why all these the statutes and ordinances and the codes that they come after you with, they're attacking your estate. They're attacking your trust, not you. But that's where they think you're an employee, and that's where you hear some people rebutting, "I'm not an employee," da 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 da, et cetera, et cetera. But the way that you present yourself, well, that's how they read it. Now, if you hand them a 5-star American national passport and like you got Sean's and you got the tags and they pull you over and your fee schedule, now they're in trouble. Now they're liable and you're not an employee and you're just freely traveling. Why are you bothering me? Why are you trespassing? See, people got so used to trespassing and being trespassed on that it's just become like a norm to them. And then with the media, they show a couple cops shooting somebody or a couple cops getting shot. It's all an act to me. But anyways, keep going down. Anything to divide and conquer. And then simple POUS, the box. Jurat, sign it. Remember, we're always signing everything in red. And then I've been signing in gold over the stamps. And that's pretty much it. That's your foreign status. You get it notarized. This will be part of your pack to use that you're going to be sending to a couple agencies, Department of State, Secretary of State, Secretary of Department of Transportation, IRS Commissioner, etc. Yeah, that's a good one. The unsworn certification is being executed without the United States pursuant to Section 1746, subsection 1 of Title 28 United States Code, Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. So everything we do is backed up by law. Everything, our procedures, their procedure. These procedures are as old as Babylon. This isn't nothing new. The only thing that's really new is Treasury paperwork and filling out deposit slips, and that's pretty much it. Everything else is old as Babylon. Everything's a master-slave relationship. You either administer your estate or somebody administers it for you. That's all it is. So again, we're going to finish up with your trust next week, Wednesday. We're going to go over your BC bond order. We're going to go over your bill of exchange. We're going to go over your indemnity bond. We're going to go over your cover letter. We're going to go over your executor letter. And then that's going to, and the 1040 ES and the 1041 V, and your guys' trust is set up. Then we'll figure out the surety situation, because you guys are going to need sureties and people that have already sent their packs out. And then classes will be getting fun. Like I said, I'll be flying back out. Sean's going to hold the class on how to change your address from vital statistics. We'll be making an announcement about that. That's going to be an awesome, fun-filled class, I'll tell you that. And then we'll see about Gene coming on here after. And then he's the one that will flood the gates. You think I tell you guys a lot of information, but Sean and Gene telling you guys stuff, it's going to flood the mind. It's going to open your guys' eyes up to new things that you guys never hear on Facebook. I promise you that. So now if anybody has any questions, I'll take questions for a little bit, but like I said, I got to get up early for this travels tomorrow. It's going to be a fun trip, business trip, but nonetheless a fun one, because one of the goals that I'll be doing is being a doc, and my girl's gonna be going. We're gonna be creating. We're basically gonna be putting these hospitals out of business, pretty much. So we're gonna be creating naturopathic facilities, rehab centers, real rehab centers, not no 12-step shit. There's just like this redemption of debt. The doc I know does redemption of temple, and he studied under a Japanese naturopath, and their group comes over here and they select only 14 people in America. Like, this is how serious it is. They only select 14 candidates, and they come in and reverse Parkinson's disease. It's some amazing information that he bestows upon me, and it's just great to talk to people that have beautiful minds, and he's one of them. I'll also be celebrating with Middleton, and you guys just celebrated the 4th, and like I said, his great-grandfather signed the Declaration of Independence, so that's going to be big. I always like hanging out with them guys. It's always a good time. He is getting some energy-efficient housing developed right now. Everything's in the works. The funding is there now. Everything is going to be on a roll. Like I said before, I'll be working on building this financial consulting company and discharging student loans, mortgages. I hate court, guys. I hate court. I hate court. I hate court. This is why. Yeah, I could shut court down. Yeah, I can do all this cool shit. Yeah. But that's because I have the balls to do it. Now, I've been coaching people and showing people and telling people what to say. And some people, they do it, they get the results. And some people, they get scared and they hinder. And then they do it. And then, oh, I should have did this before. But court, I'll go over court. I'll have a class on court. I'll go over the procedure of court. I'll show you how to protect your family from these trespassers. But coming to me with court cases like traffic tickets and like driving well, like it's a headache for me. So I'll just have a class on it, and then I'll put my templates on how I handle things and what I have done. But other than that, I would like my company's focus to be on student loans, foreclosures, and mortgages. Because that's where the real results begin. Court is cool, it's tough, it's tricky. You should never be in court. I hate going to court. I hate dealing with these public servants, but I know how to deal with them. Most of the time when I get in trouble, it's my mouth. And like I told you guys before, you can have all this paperwork file and stuff like that. Like I just got arrested, like leaving a concert. I was coming home. I was trying to get home. I was in line. I cut this guy off, and all of a sudden, this old cop sergeant came running up at my door, and I got a little girl in the car. She was 14, my girlfriend's daughter. And so there's certain things that set me off. Right? I'm a peaceful line until you cross a certain line. Now I get what you know what I mean, that he was all head honcho and he thought he had some big little cutting off somebody, but I immediately told him who I was, and they were gonna let me go and all this other shit. But I was just beyond the point where I was just ready to start really losing shit. They just brought me back to the station. They didn't do nothing. I didn't get booked. I didn't get anything. I just had to sit there until I finished the freaking water bottle. But anyways, so you are protected through this paperwork, but they can still take you. And if I want to, I can take this guy's badge or stuff. But he was just, I don't want him. There's some guy that he was on the phone with, and it took him a while to come back to say, bring him back, and cool him down. 'Cause that's all it is with me. They got to cool me down. Because it's an approach with caution with me because, anyways. So I'll be going over tort claims with you guys. I'll be going over putting in this affidavit and putting an insurance claim in. I'm going to show you how to protect yourselves. But to go over court and try to teach you court in like such a small period of time, it's kind of impossible, And it's a lot of people like to just say, "I'll throw you money." I don't care about money, bro. Money's not. I create it. So, it's the reason why I don't like doing the paperwork for you is because I'm taking the aha moment from you. You know that when you figured that shit out and you did it yourself, and all you needed was just a little, okay, yeah, you know, you're doing good. Yeah, that's right. When you've earned it yourself, it's so much better. When you get that aha, I did it, you know, with a little bit of, you know what I mean, a little bit of help. Because I've had a little bit of help the whole way. I've had little angels along, just giving me little tidbits of information. Just as I've been growing, as I've been able to, you know, that they felt like I was ready for it, I've been getting new information, new like all this TDA stuff and Treasury stuff. I've been learning a lot of new stuff, man, that nobody talks about. Nobody. You can we'll go over the Freedom of Information Act filing on the master file, and then they're going to show you what they traded on your name. That's what I'm still doing in Brooklyn right now. I'm going back down there when I get back from Missouri. He knows how to get the trading on the master file through a Freedom of Information Act filing. I have 2 reads on how to obtain the master file, and it goes in the Freedom of Information Act filing. When I get home, Laurel, just write this down as a reminder. We'll post to the group how to obtain IRS master file, and we'll put that in the group. But yeah, you can recoup anything. So when you'll see when we do your estate number, your 82 numbers, once you file that, because I almost shit a brick. When I filed my 82 number, they wanted me to file like a 1041 within like a week, and I was like, well, I'm fucked. And then I was talking to Sean and everybody, and they're like, nah, you're good. You can file that 1041 after, because it's all voluntary. Reporting taxes and income and stuff like that. There's no income, but reporting taxes and reporting, it's all voluntary. It's all voluntary. That's why you see the fake media saying people are getting shot for revealing that the IRS, there's no law that says you have to file taxes, and it's all seeking the truth and knowing who you are. But other than that, does anybody have any questions about any of this that we went over? We're going to finish up your trust next week.
Are these templates going to be posted on more outlets?
Yes. Yep. Loyal can post all of them. They can just take mine, post mine.
Awesome.
Hey,
Hey,
PJ.
PJ, are you there?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yep. I can hear you there.
Okay. I've got a question. I've been, I guess, kind of having some fun with my mortgage. Coming out of a dismissed bankruptcy, Wells Fargo, after I discharged it, or at least I think I discharged it, sold it to SLS. SLS is now coming to try to foreclose on me. And my question is, should I try to discharge SLS again?
No, you take them. No, you file a criminal complaint with SLS, and you do a bill of complaint in district court and bring SLS as a defendant in court. And you want to see their claim. Want to see their claim go bye-bye? They have no authority. They're a third party. They have no authority to foreclose. The only thing, I don't know what you do with other foreclosure, but what you have to do in foreclosures is you have to take control of the mortgage note, which is security, and then the promissory note. Because they took the promissory note, deposited it, and then that's where you got your mortgage from. So you have to have the UCC1, a vested interest on both of those.
I do have that.
Then you're fine. Then file an affidavit with the state commissioner with SLS and all the violations that they're doing, estate embezzlement. I could go over 20, mail fraud. I can go over 20 different ones. Add those up. I'll send you the read. We lost that C, and then you can put because like we've talked on the phone, the real party of interest is the IMF.
Right.
Automatically, if they were going to foreclose, it's automatic Federal Rules of Civil Procedure Rule 12b-2. Automatic. You lack subject matter jurisdiction because this prosecutor or this attorney for the bank has not given any factual testimony on record. So everything that this guy is saying, I have to object to because it's all hearsay. He's not representing the IMF. The IMF's the real party of interest. And how can he represent a dead man or a dead corpse?
Right.
So what I would do is I would do the bill of complaint in district court, get an affidavit to the state commissioner, and do an insurance claim with on SLS.
Okay, district court. Do you have information on bill of complaint?
Yes. It's called Are We Lost at Sea? That's where I got all my templates from for the bills of complaint. And then you can download the book. It's called Equity of Jurisprudence. I'll take a picture and post the book, but someone post it. It's free. It goes over how to create a bill of complaint. It goes over the 9 parts of the bill of complaint. And I'm still growing into it. I'm still growing. I'm sure Gina could get on here and dissect the shit out of it and go over it. But I'm just growing into the bill of complaint, and getting really an understanding of trust and equity,
So I should file a criminal complaint now.
Yeah, I would.
Okay, and now what I had already prepared is to send the FBI information because of securities fraud. I'm reporting them for securities fraud
Well,
too.
that would be the SEC and FARA. So if you want to put a claim in for FARA, that would be your adverse claim, UCC 8102. And then that's where you get into your entitlement rights, UCC Article 8-505 through 508. And Gene talks about that. I learned that from Gene.
Okay.
And he goes because you're it's a conduit loan. You're a non-disclosed third party to a conduit loan.
Right.
That you get,
Well, no. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Should I still notice them with 3 steps or no?
Default them, get paid off their default.
Okay, cool.
Absolutely, because the default, you'll see it comes with the fee schedule, and then you should have your own fee schedule already, and then it goes on the affidavit, and then after 90 days for the affidavit becomes an accounts receivable.
Okay, slow down.
Mm-hmm.
Slow down. So after they get into default, okay.
Okay, so now now you're in a default for non-performance, right? Okay. Now you take your default with all your certificates of service, your notary process. Now you go see your Secretary of State and you ask for a certificate of default. Put that default on the UCC1. Now you have a security that you can take to your bank and sell it, or lodge it as a security and get a dividend payout, all at the same time.
Hang on. I asked the certificate from the Secretary of State.
Yep.
The certificate of default.
Yep, certificate of default. Then you place that certificate of default on the UCC1, so that registers it.
Okay.
Then you go to for example, you go to Fidelity with your investment account. You get your security broker. Tell them you want the security lodged and you want your dividend payout monthly. And you're also going to get paid out from your affidavit. And then when you go after them for title or estate embezzlement, et cetera, you add up all the charges on an affidavit, send it to your state commissioner, send it to the court clerk of the district court, and send it in with your criminal complaint, which is your bill of equity. And that's where you get your restitution, is your tort claims, which is affidavits, maritime tort. You want to do a maritime tort. And if you ever want to sue the government, you sue them in suits of admiralty. That's how they can't hide behind the Sovereign News Act.
I'd rather not sue them. I'd rather just default them and have fun with that.
Yeah. Suing it's a headache. Claim, it's all a headache. Defaulting is a lot easier. It's a lot less painful. And then their insurance covers it, so it doesn't matter.
I don't like court. So when the Secretary of State does the certificate, will he authenticate that as well?
Right.
Or that's what he's...
Right. It'll be all notarized. I'll see if I can get this girl to talk about hers. See how much she'll charge me, because she did it not. She defaulted a judge. Brought it, lodged it, went to the Secretary of State, got her certificate of default, UCC1, took it to her bank, and she didn't tell me how much she was getting paid out, but she seems happy with her dividend payout. That's all I know.
Well, so I'm getting ready to. what I was going to say is I'm getting ready to default the tax assessor, the tax collector, and the county clerk, $30,000 up to $600,000.
Good, that's cheap. They're getting out cheap. Good.
Well, they are. I haven't even done my wife's to them.
So you're just getting warmed up then.
What's that?
You're just getting warmed up then.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I am. And because the city council already met with me,
okay.
And so I know they want me to drop it. And I just want to be able to look at them in the eye and smile and say, would you? Of course I'm not going to drop it.
Of course not. Would they?
Nope.
All right.
So I want to have some fun and teach other people how to do this.
Good. Awesome.
Okay.
So you're talking about
one other
putting. Sorry.
No, go ahead. I'll let someone else talk.
Just for a minute, when we're talking about getting a certificate from the Secretary of State, we're putting them in default with a witnessed content mail with a third party witnessing their non-response that results in a certificate of dishonor witnessed by a notary.
Right.
And it's that notary certificate of dishonor that goes to the Secretary of State, memorializing their agreement by tacit procurement, not rebutting an affidavit that was sent to the mail 3 times.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And basically, I'll send you the 3-step private. At the end, you're defaulting them for non-performance.
Yes.
So, and then bring it to the Secretary of State. Say, hey, here's my 3 attempts. Here, I've exhausted. They're defaulted. I need to, like you said, memorialize. Here's my certificate. Goes on a UCC1 in the collateral section. Take that to the bank. Security broker. I need the dividend payout. And then if you guys buy, it's called Accounting for Dummies. It has 9. I said it before. It has 9 different books. It goes in how to calculate dividends. Great book, and it goes over basics to the more advanced stuff. And
that's called accounting. Is it accounting?
Yeah, Accounting for Dummies, but it's new and it's 9 books. It goes into common stock and preferred stock. So when you guys file your UCCs, you guys are now preferred stock. You're no longer common stock. You're preferred stock. You know what I mean? You're a creditor. You have money in the U.S. You're a sole shareholder. Your shares are your birth certificate.
And so Larry, I have one more question with PJ about what you're doing as well. PJ, I'm of the opinion that the banks or the Visa cards or the foreclosure or the lawyers coming in, by saying there's a debt, they're admitting there's a security, and they're also admitting there's a withholding. We've issued credit that hasn't come back to us. We get the interest up front, which is living in the house, or the electricity. That's the interest on the principal and interest. Mm-hmm. You always get interest first, and we get our principal back second. So because we've gotten the interest but not the principal, and now they're coming at us again, says, well, we could do a W-4 and account for both sides of the equation, all the statements, plus all our payments, plus the value of the house or the value of the car, whatever they're taking. You could add all 3 of those together, and that would be the amount of withholding on a W-4 withholding certificate. We could put and let the IRS know these guys are withholding and they haven't paid the taxes, and then recoup it on a 1099-A. That would be the notice, and then finally proof of claim would be the 1040-V. So we have the statement like the 2373 with a W-4. We have the notice like the 10492 using the 1099-A, and then we have the recoupment with the 1040-V and the 4490.
Yep, the 10492 is the federal tax due.
Yeah, but the 1099, but that's a notice. That's a notice of the taxes. Right. Well, the 1099-A is a notice too. There's 3 copies setting everyone notice. So I'm just saying when I started my withholding, I did it for my electric companies, my electric company only, and my Social Security benefit doubled in 2 years. But now I'm doing it with anyone using my Social Security number. I'm doing the W-4, 1099-A, and the 1040-V. Hopefully I'll be getting checks back. I just did 3 of them, about for $15,000.
Amazing.
And it causes an effect because the electric company, I think I told this before, called me in the middle of winter and said, we need to read the meter. We're supposed to read it every 2 months, and they hadn't read it in 5 years, but they had to get in there and read it because now the Social Security Administration is going in to see how much of the 13.5 taxes what amount of money that 13.5 tax applies to, and they had to get a low meter reading to make sure it's low, to minimize their tax liability. So it triggers something with these public corporations that they now have to make their books good, and so anyone with an application, anything that had application for employment, application for a loan, application for a visa, anything application, I do the W-4, the 1099-A, and 1040-V.
Amazing.
So, and I add it all up. It's both sides of the equation. Both sides are my credit. The charges and the deposits, the whatever, both sides, the statements and the payments. Add those together, and that's the value. Both sides are my credit, and that's how much of my credit they withhold. I'm even considering doubling both sides because that came from the application. I think the QSIP number is tied to the application for credit. That's where the real security is.
Yes,
so,
QSIPs. Yep, absolutely.
But that's tied to the application. That's the credit line. That's the credit line was open. The double accounting ledger, that's the result of the application being split. That's my thinking. I can't be sure. But.
No,
have you thought of doing a 1099-B?
Well, I just know I've given them a loan of my credit, so I haven't really bartered anything per se. My time card would be a barter here at work. The time card would be a manifest that's been bartered. But the 1099-A, that would be the loan that I gave them. That's the statement of my credit they've used. So anything with an application I'm using for a 1099-A. But the barter for the 1099-B could be used for time cards or something like that.
I get that, but I'm saying if you put it on a 1099-B and securitize it.
What would I be securitizing?
Can you get that?
Well, because when you went to the bank, when you loaned them your credit, you got something for it. You know what I mean? Well, you were supposed to, right?
Right.
So it's a barter because it's quid pro quo. It's equal value for value. So your promissory note that you deposited, that you loaned them, you should have got a cash receipt for, a trust receipt for it. UCC 3501.
They can't give me anything because they have nothing to give. They're bankrupt. I'm the creditor of the whole thing.
Right. But you should get a trust receipt and take control over that's your property. If it's got your name on it, it's your property.
What property are we talking about now?
All right, so if you go to the bank and fill out an application for a loan, you have to call the underwriter. They'll give you the QSIP number and the loan number associated with the application. Because that's what funds everything. When they pull your credit, they just pulled your credit. They just ran your name. They did it for the amount that you were going to. So there's your name, the amount, and the date, and then there goes your signature. They underwrite it.
I agree on that side, but for me, not having access to QSIPs, I can do a W-4, I can do a 1099-A, and I can do a 1040-V without ever having to deal with the QSIPs and let the IRS go eat them.
Even better.
Because on the W-4, there's an authorization line. How much of my credit do I authorize them to withhold?
Right.
I don't have to limit it to the amount of the statements of the deposits and the payments. I could multiply by 10. Here, withhold this much money. I'm authorizing them to withhold more from my Social Security account. Here you go. Take some more.
Yep,
here, take some more, and just do the 1040-V for that same amount. See if you don't get a cash out from how much you authorize them to withhold. They're just my clearinghouse. They're my interface to do the clearinghouse stuff. I don't have to have
absolutely.
That's my thinking. I haven't done it yet. I'm working on it right now.
Absolutely.
That's my idea. But when I did the W-4 in other places, all of a sudden they had to get an accurate reading. They had to get everything good. All the books had to be cooked, and they never sent me a bill again for the electricity when I did the W-4 last time. That's at ComEd in ComEd up in Chicago. So it triggers something. Okay, I'm getting off.
Let me ask a question. Being you know about IRS forms and stuff. Hypothetically, I discharged my mortgage, $211,000. I get a letter because stupid me wasn't paying attention and filled out a 1040 instead of a 1041 to get my gift money back. So they send me a frivolous letter and say I need to fix it. Okay, so I'll fix it. My question is, if the IRS is willing to reimburse me, does that mean the discharge went through?
What's your account showing?
Well, that's the part that sucks. 2 weeks later, Wells Fargo, zero balance, transferred it to SLS. 3 weeks. 3 weeks after I discharged it.
All right, so now they're just testing you. They just, they know you're at the end of your, growth and learning. Now you just have to follow through, get your 82 EIN, do an affidavit.
I have that. I've got my 98.
Okay, awesome. So then,
yeah,
I would look.
I've got my trust.
I'll look at collapsing your social and that estate name, and then just using your 82 and 98s as your social.
Okay. Yeah. I tried to do my 98 to Credit Karma today, and a couple others, and they're trying to put it with my social. They won't give me my credit score.
I would look into.
They're saying it doesn't.
I would
on the
look into liquidating the estate. You have to liquidate the estate. You don't need your social security number no more.
Okay, so just turn it in.
No, I'll go over it. It's a major process.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, it's what I'm doing now, right? So when you liquidate your estate, you're civilly dead. So anybody trying to administer your estate, you just send them, your IRS stamped 82. You send them your liquidation form, and then you send them UCC1 and your security agreement, and with a cover letter stating, hey, and you can send them your certified copy of the death certificate. Say, hey, this guy's dead. What do you guys want to do? He died. Right. What I mean? So that's how I'm going to be handling things. Because I just liquidated my estate, so.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and I got a couple text messages. There's only 2 people in this whole entire world that knew what I was doing. And I got a random text from this chick. She goes, well, congratulations on exiting the Matrix. And I was like, all right, cool. How the fuck did you know that? She was like, I got some important friends. And I was like, cool. Must be doing something right then. So, but like I said, I have an agency right now that's, kind of walking me through it.
Right.
There's some crazy shit today that Patrick Devine didn't die. I don't know how true that is, but
yeah, he died.
What, Patrick Devine?
I mean, because
he died last May.
Now listen, at the end game of this, all the people that are successful start to just fade out. Because when you know this stuff, believe me, you can ask Laurel. Laurel gets 50 emails a day with different questions from different, people trying to learn. And that's what sucks about it, because once you start getting to a certain point and then you have to go fully private, like I can't even log into my Facebook anymore.
You get I get it. You get inundated.
Me doing this, I can go to a certain point, but believe me, there's only 30, 35 of us. They know who's in the groups. They know who's doing right. They know who's reading. They know who's progressing. Because like I said before, the remedy, it's just knowing who you are, staying in honor, and yes, have some fun, hold your ground, put people in default. If you can avoid putting liens on clerks and judges, by all means do. But if they really trespass you and they're really injuring you, then as a final step, a good old-fashioned commercial lien does wonders. And the affidavit, the insurance commissioner puts liens on all of them. I'll post a read up in the group. Laurel, post for kings and priests only. This is where I'm getting my information for about the state commissioner and then the default and going to the Secretary of State. This is exactly where I'm reading it from. So Laurel is on a read called for kings and priests only. Because if you listen to Santos Bonacci, we're all supposed to be living here as kings and priests. So if you read that, this is where I'm getting my information from. Now, do I know how to proceed with everything? Yeah, I know how to put the affidavits and shit together and all that, and bills of complaints are like 80% right now. The biggest thing in the bill of complaint is your relief, prayer for relief. That's where your discharge comes in.
Yeah,
Real,
that makes
a
sense.
real discharge, I believe, when you put your
Hey,
prayer.
PJ, 1041 versus 709, your opinion.
There's no difference. Your 706 and 709 are your gift and estate and your generation skipping transfers. The claim to get your treasury check back and to get your claims is through the 1041 and 706. The 1041 is your estate and trust administration, state and trust tax form. So if you have an estate or trust, that's what you're supposed to be filing. If you've been filing a 1040, that's a tribute to Britain. And I'll go over the executor PowerPoint and I'll show you where the 1040 is an actual tax. But
Okay.
to get your funding and to pull everything back, the 706 form is very important. And the book Trust and Estate and Trust Administration for Dummies goes over how to fill those books out, or those forms out.
Okay. Trust and what?
Estate and Trust Administration for Dummies. I mean, and it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful read. They also, a good book to grab is Wills and Trusts for Dummies, and it comes with a CD. And when I was putting my will together, I did it from there. And it goes over estates, goes over examples of trust and estates, so you can see examples. Pretty interesting. It's a pretty good CD. But other than that, I'll tell you guys one thing: the Social Security Administration is very, very important for paying your bills and buying cars and trucks and such. Because like I said, you guys are being watched. This is all being recorded. They watch me. Like, I've had a bald guy with the dark glasses next to me eating CIA. It's a hilarious show. Laurel's seen it. Laurel's seen guys in trench coats following me. Last time I landed in California, they had the Fed van in front of us. It's all beautiful. They are, but they really, I guess, trust me, because a lot of people haven't. The elders are still around that put all this together, like the families that put all this together that kind of protect it. I would say, Templars. So when I say that you're the remedy, there's so many different ways to skin this cat and get your remedy and get your restitution. And there's everybody, like Gene has his own way. I have my way, but it's mostly Gene's way. I have David Clarence has his own way. Angela Stark has her own way. There's many ways to skin the cat. It's just knowing what it is, communicating with people that are in the movement, communicating with people that have results, communicating with people that can really help you, show you a judgment, showing a discharge. You know what I mean? There's not too many people that could show you a $400,000 discharge like I did. You know what I mean? I haven't posted the judgment with the seal on it and everything because it has Tom's information on it and stuff. But I have my discharge. I have my court cases. I have other people's court cases. I have federal indictments. I'm about to have 5 judgments on 5 foreclosures as soon as this bill of equity goes in district court.
Do you have a list on how you do your discharges, PJ?
I have
on who gets what?
I have the video up. I can go over a discharge class again. It's just
I guess
everybody's in a different. See, this is why I did it this way with the group. We started from the basics and we're gonna finish. And then now that all your ducks in order and you have your account set up, then I can easily go over a discharge and everybody will be on track and everybody will be on the same pace. And then we could just keep it as a flow. You know what I mean? Because once your trust is set up, I'm sure everybody has bills, and then I'll give the announcement, hey, go max out your credit cards, pull them all out, have fun. And I'll show everybody how to discharge them, show you how to go get new credit cards, show you, like I said, the treasury card is not what people think it is. I'll tell you this: you can take a cash card, you could take a green dot card, you could take you can go to the smallest city and the smallest bank and federal credit union. Your treasury card is you. I'll tell you that.
I get that.
Because you make the donation, because everything that you do, you're setting up a trust relationship. Okay, so when you go to send something off and you want to fund something, you do a special deposit, and then that deposit, they owe you consideration for. They owe you performance, or they send it back to you with corrections. So I know somebody that sent something off to a certain bank, and the bank sent it back to them and said, well, we can accept this, but you have to have a cover letter stating that this is an unconditional donation. So, like I said, I'm being walked through, and I'm getting pretty much $18 million in funding because my estate has 11 million and my LLC has 11 million. But I'm only doing 2.9. So that's gonna get going for my hemp growing, and then everybody else in my circle will get their funding, and then business is business.
Can you do an OID or well, let me ask you this. I did an OID on my discharge.
Okay, well, I'll tell you this right now. How did you fill out your OID? Because if you filled your OID out for the amount of your deposit, they're going to come back you with a frivolous charge and then probably put a lien on it. Because I just read in the general accounting offices, people filing OIDs that are putting the full amount of the OID is 100% wrong.
I think I know I did the OIDs separately to each company, and then I totaled them all up and put them on the wrong form, but I put them on 1040.
No, you're probably going to get frivolous filing, which is okay. You just recoup that and say, all right, you just took $5,000 from my estate, I need it back. But the OIDs, the reason why people are getting in trouble is because you need to get in touch with a security broker, and you have to get what you have to get what they sold your note for. And then the difference between what your note was and what they sold it for is your OID. That's an original issue discount. Okay.
So your opinion, the IRS sends me a letter. They tell me the 1040 that I filled out is frivolous. I need to, cancel it or amend it.
Right. If you want to amend it, it's 1040X.
1040X?
Right.
Not a 1041.
The 1041, you already filed the 1040, so you're amending it. So you need to do a 1040X.
Okay.
From now on, do your 1041s.
Okay. And do I need to fill out anything besides the 1040X?
Right. Yeah, because that's the amendment. And I got that from a government person in Illinois government agency, right in the tax auditing department. She's told me to do the 1040X whenever you get like a frivolous, just amend it, send it back.
Okay, but do I need to follow
frivolous filings? If they know you didn't fill the IRS forms out, it's just a test. Because then you just send them 490 proof of claim. Like, well, what do you mean, Joe? Where's my money? So.
I mean, but do I need to go back and fill a 1041 out, or just do the 1040X?
You just
amend
1040X, amend it, resend everything out, re-notify everybody. I'll send you the book that I bought that told me the OID. It's called General Accounting Practices on Original Issue Discount. It was like $25. It's not a long read, but it's packed with information. It's packed why people are filling out. It goes over. It basically dissects IRS publications 1212.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It dissects it and goes over everything.
I know people that are getting really nice refunds from doing these OIDs.
They'll give you the refund, and they'll let you cash it, and then they'll wait a year, and then they'll come after you. I know 15 people that have gotten huge refunds. 14 out of 15 have bank levies or levies on their liens and levies on their accounts. Can't even access her. So they let you win. They love that. Then they just come right back.
So should you not do OIDs?
You only do an OID if you know what you're doing. And they know 99% of people filling these out are greedy, desperate, and they don't know what they're doing.
I got you. Yeah,
I can't say everybody. I can't say everybody. Some people just have blind ambition and just want to do good and try to help their family. I get that. I get that blind ambition. I've been there, believe me. But filling OID, any of this paperwork, they could, try and say that this is frivolous or fraudulent. None of that, it doesn't matter. What matters is you know who you are, keep pursuing it, keep persistent, stay in honor, and everything happens as it does. It's all control. Your successes come when they want you to. You know what I mean? As you prepare for. When you've came correct, you've come your due diligence, there's nothing they can do. There's nothing that they can say to you. There's nothing that they can send you that could fuck this. You know what I mean?
Right.
The only thing that you're trying to overcome is you being recognized as the creditor and you getting your returns and just filling out the proper accounting. That's all you're on right now. That's all you're figuring out right now is how the last little tidbits of, filing your estate return and then trying to get reclaiming your securities, basically what you're learning.
PJ, we've put those OIDs in over here. Like we've sent them from over here.
Yeah, you're fine.
Are we?
Oh, I've done OIDs for the full amounts.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just not the right way.
So they won't come back at us? No. Probably not.
They'll ignore it. With you guys, they'll ignore it because your status has changed. You learned that in federal court. And then Sonia learned that in her letter that when they were coming after her, she was a normal citizen or whatever. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But so I've done the OIDs. I've known people. Fam, I've seen people get their recoupments with the OID with the full amount. I'm telling you what I read. And I know, you know what I mean? I know what the IRS does. I know that they come back after people. I know that they test people. I know. So I'm just telling you, I just read this.
So if they come back after you and you have a court order says they don't have jurisdiction over you, then what?
You'll never get a court order that says somebody has jurisdiction over you because you can challenge jurisdiction right off the bat.
I mean, I have a court order that says they have jurisdiction over me. That's what I was asking.
Oh, that they don't, right?
Yeah, they don't.
Because they're not bringing you to court. They're getting you to administer your estate properly. That's all they're doing. So basically what you did there, they looked at it, you sent it to your trustees, and they're like, well, this is a waste of time. I gotta charge this dude for my time. This is frivolous. It's not the right way. Let me send it back to him. Tell him, try again, sucker. You know what I mean? So that's all that is. And then it gives you an agent's name at the criminal investigation department that you can now correspond with.
Okay.
Hey, my apologies, but here, let me refile this. Does this match up to your standards and procedure? If not, tell me what I'm missing. But
okay,
I can go over a class on how to fill these forms out and stuff, but that would be after we set the trust up and everything.
Sure.
We have some other questions too quickly before you leave. So I know Lauren wants to know. Let's see. About the 4490.
All right, I'll post the 4490 proof of claim template. That's for the IRS when you want them to make their claim.
Okay.
It's not hard to fill out. But if you get a frivolous filing or a levy, you can send them a conditional acceptance and a 4490.
Okay, and Donna wants
IRS Form 211 and 3949A.
Okay.
IRS Form 211 is the whistleblower form. That's if you want to get people for like estate embezzlement. That's what that does.
Okay, Donna wants to know, can you get bankruptcy court to discharge or settle accounts by submitting your birth certificates and social security number in the case and stating you do not wish to be surety for the debtor?
No, I answered her email today. No, that's all a lie. It's halfway correct, but it has nothing to do with your birth certificate. You can get a discharge through bankruptcy court, but I'll show you how to get a discharge through the Treasury and through district court.
Okay.
District court is where you'll get your laws upheld. Like I said, again, Title 28 USC 1333, that they have original jurisdiction. And it's okay if everything's in admiralty, because in admiralty, that's where you get paid. Common law, you have to have the injured party. You go to Supreme Court. I mean, that's a hassle. So admiralty law works for you. It gives you grace. It gives them grace. It gives everybody opportunity. People just don't know how to navigate their vessel through admiralty law. And that's why I go to Grant Gilmore, and he has a book he wrote the book on all this admiralty law. And Gene said that he wrote Article 9, you know what I mean? So this guy wrote all of Article 9, and he's the most paraphrased or quoted in all court cases in this book. So, I mean, I've been reading it, and it's just straight sauce. It goes into salvagers, it goes into bills of lading, it goes into everything. Everything that you could think of. Is it a pain in the ass and boring to read? Hell yeah. That's why I smoke so much.
Does anybody else have any questions? I implore you to speak up, because I know a lot of you email me to ask PJ questions, and he's so busy. So does anybody else have any questions for him before he gets ready to leave?
Hello.
Hi, Martha.
Hey, Martha.
Hey, I'm kind of hoarse because I've been out in this weather in Louisiana, so you may can and you may can't hear me.
Man, who you been screaming at?
Huh?
Who you been screaming at?
My boss.
Woo!
Oh, the trust. With the trust, should the trust be set up before you even start the process?
No.
Like the security agreement and the other documents?
The first, like we went in first class, your first document is your security agreement that you can fill out. That's your first document. And then your first steps that you should be doing is authenticating your birth certificates. That's where you want to get going. But no, you can do, this is the way I did it. This is my procedure and how I know people that got 98s, no UCCs filed. I know it's so cluttered out there, and there's no real procedure. And then the people that figure it out, they're charging people like $15,000 to set this up. But I'm just like, you guys are outrageous.
Yeah, I know. But I've already authenticated my birth certificate.
Okay.
And also authenticated my COLB, certificate of live birth.
Awesome.
And I'm doing the process that you said to go when I looked at the first video inside the class. But I was working on the security agreement. And I need to know, where do I send a security agreement?
I'm gonna put the pack together. The security agreement's gonna go with a bunch of other affidavits and your UCC, legal notice of demand. I'll put that together for you. So you'll send all this stuff out at once. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming to class.
I just found out how to operate it.
Good. It takes time. I know. I just learned Zoom too. I'm not really a computer guy and stuff. Like when I have to like set up like check printing software, and I get all nervous. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, man. I'll hit some, mess this whole procedure up, and, But you're all right. It's all right. You're doing great. I'm glad that you're here. You're doing. If you have a family, you're doing great things for the family and great things for yourself. So just stick with it. I'll get you there. Get you where you want to be.
Oh, let me ask you also another thing.
Mm-hmm.
With the judgments, I heard you. I was asleep when I woke up on this here. You said that you could do a judgment instead of doing a complaint or suit for those who have have injured you.
Right. So you don't. All right. So you put an affidavit in and default them. You get a default judgment. Then you take your default.
Right. That's what I heard. Default.
Yeah. Yep. Instead of going like
how
suing.
do you set up a default judgment?
Okay. So the way that you would do that is I'll have a class for it, and it's called your private administrative process or procedure. And basically you send them, an account or whatever, an affidavit stating this, and that. Then they have so many certain days to respond. Usually the first time they have 30 days to respond. Then you send them a notice of dishonor. Then they only have, I believe, 14 or 10 days. Then you send them the certificate of dishonor after that. Then after 3 days, though they don't respond, you have you go to the Secretary of State with your certificate of services, all your exhibits, and you ask the Secretary of State for your certificate of default. I'll show you the verbiage that you put on the UCC-1 in the collateral section to make it a security and give you the vested interest in the accounts receivable part of it. And then you will go over banking and speaking to security brokers and how to deal with them. and then you'll get a what they call a dividend payout from the lodging of the security. So they'll be trading it, and then whatever interest comes up, that is your dividend.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
All
And
right.
also, I want to ask you, okay, how would this here work if they have your property?
Who has your property? What
Like
property?
the courts, they have my children are in state's custody.
All right, so like I said, I'm going to Missouri tomorrow to go put everything together, and I'll post the bill of complaint, and I'll show you how to put your claim in and for your kids' estates, and then we'll see what happens with Doc's kids. So I can't tell you, like, that's what I'm working on now. It's been since November I've been doing this.
Oh. Okay. All right, thank you.
But no, once I get through this, I know what's gonna happen. But once I get through this, I'll be able to walk you through it step by step. Everybody how to to claim their kids and control your estate, etc.
Okay. Even if they're not with us.
Right. We'll send in the marshals to go get them.
Oh. Okay.
That's what I'm preparing.
Like that.
Yeah, I'm preparing my paperwork for that. The marshals get involved.
Okay.
Because some of the complaints was the sheriff, so I got to go by the sheriff with the marshals. That's what I'm saying. Listen, these guys, da. We're going to get the kids. Either you're going to allow us to get the kids, or you go get the kids. Either way, someone's going to get these kids. You know what I mean? So we'll see.
Okay. Thank you.
PJ?
You're welcome.
Another question. What does the IRS master file show us?
It shows what they traded your name. All right, so the China Trade Act, they're taking your domain, your trade name, and they're trading it internationally. So that's where you're going to be able to put your claim in, and you'll see my one boy, he's got billions that they traded on. So you put that. Gene talks about it. You go international, that's when you get into the billions of dollars. You can't be a billionaire in a city. You have to be international. Yep. That's where billions and trillions of dollars comes from, international stuff. Mm-hmm. So your IRS master file will show you, some people said they've seen it, and they have, one was like a teacher, and she's seen her master file, and they had that she was a heroin trafficker. So these people put all these forgeries on your file, trade them. They're basically selling information and what it's traded on. How much did they sell it for? I have a list, and my one boy Tone, his shit was for 3 years in a row is it $3.2 billion each year. So we're gonna put in the 706, 1099A, 1041, et cetera, and see what happens. It's gonna be crazy.
Anyone else?
I have a question.
Okay.
I've already done a UCC one, a lot of declarations, things like that. And I'm trying to blend with what you are doing and with what I've already done. And honestly, it gets really confusing for me. So I'm just wondering if you can give me some quick advice on, what I should do if I've already filed documents and you're saying things that are a little bit different. Mm-hmm. What would you suggest?
Okay, so where's your confusion coming from? What are you confused with?
Just mostly in the details. In my UCC one, I have a secured party creditor. I'm a power of attorney, copyright, trademark. Yep. I've filed it on the land record. I've done a non-UCC with it. Okay. So I just don't want any conflicts in, with what you're teaching, because I believe in that and what I've already done.
Get with Laurel. Let me see what you have done already, and then I'll just fill in your blanks for you.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah. Just email Laurel. Just make a note, Chad, and then whatever he has done, we'll compare it to what our list is, and then we'll just plug his holes. All right.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem, Chad. Thank you. Do you have any other questions?
Now,
Well,
Peter,
Yeah, I
Um,
got
go ahead.
oh yeah, I've also done a UCC one, but I've got like a quarter of what you've got, so I kind of want to just add to what I've got with your stuff. So do you just do a UCC 3 on the?
What do you want to do?
Yeah.
You want to change something in your collateral? Is that what you're trying to do? You want to like add something?
Yeah, just mostly just add, but I also like the stuff you got a little bit better than some of the stuff I'm using as well. So I mean, like, what do you suggest in that situation?
It depends what you're changing. I have to see it. Whatever you want to change, I'll walk you through. I'll show you how to do it. If you just want to change the collateral section on UCC1, you just file the UCC3. There will be like an option to change collateral, and then you put the new stuff in, and it's easy.
Okay.
But that's it. If you want to add, if anything, you just add stuff to your security agreement, your Schedule A. That's where I add all my stuff.
Ah.
Right? Because your security agreement's referenced on your collateral section, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So, like I tell people, the security agreement and UCC1 is the most important docs you can send forward, because that's showing you the lien on the estate, and it's showing the who has the real security interest in the estate.
What do you do when people ignore?
Ignore what?
When you send them your security agreement? Well, kind of like trying to foreclose. I sent them all that. They don't.
Because you're not bringing them into court, and they're not going to respond because responding to you committing bankruptcy, and they all have an oath to protect bankruptcy. That's what these judges and lawyers are doing. They swear the oath. They swear the oath not to uphold the law and protect you. They're protecting the bankruptcy. If they were protecting us, everything would be in harmony. There would be no, the division. We'd all be one.
Right.
But they just protect the bankruptcy. And because we're in martial law, if you're a citizen, there's zero tolerance. This is the way shit is. There's zero tolerance. They don't want the citizens in upheaval. Business is business. It's okay to jump ship. It's okay to abandon ship. That's why they never let slaves read. Because once you start reading, you start becoming enlightened. And then once you're enlightened, you can't have no master. Because only, anyways, you see where I'm going. But, yeah. If you guys want to add stuff and use my stuff, it's all good. It's not like I created these things from scratch. These were templates that I've added few things here and there that, but other than that, yeah, just show me what you got and then we could go over everything. I just can't go on like well, I want to change this, or, just tell me what you want to do and let Laurel know. Try not to ask Laurel, like when you don't send Laurel questions, just try to set up a call real quick, like a 5-10 minute call, and then we'll go over whatever. I can do 5-10 minute calls. I can't do 25 minutes every time. I do have a couple more people that I have to call and contact with. But yeah, I'm busy, but I always got time to help somebody out that's trying to help themselves. I'll always set up some time for that, no matter what. So
we appreciate that.
No problem. And you guys are all great too. You guys are all doing your own thing. You guys are all just stay persistent. When I got to Gene's class, that's how I met Sean and a couple other people, and they took me in and started sharing me with stuff like that UPS stuff and those roll calls. Like, dude, where the hell do you read this stuff? But it's just people are in groups and it's just networking. But I feel like between what we have here, it's a great group. I think there's nothing that this group can't accomplish. There's only 30 of us. I mean, if we came together, we could just take over the United States real quick. Real quick. It's just whatever you guys want to do. I mean, you guys all have your dreams, aspirations. Some of you are young. Some of you have grandkids. Some of you are, I get it. I'm trying to make this process and procedure as easy and as layman as I can without getting too caught up with codes and name changing and, just keep it simple. We're putting a claim in on our estate that we left abandoned. We're going to be collapsing it. We're going to be standing on our square, protecting our family. Anybody that tries to trespass, we will default them. We will take them into district court, and they're liable. And when you come in correct, and the judges will be on your side, I promise you. Because they had every, I mean, you want to talk about every reason not to go or to hand me out anything. They made me work for this stuff. Work. They could have thrown me in jail. They really changed my life. So that's why I don't really go after judges and stuff, because they really help you out. And I can only speak through my experience. So everybody that I've come into contact with and dealt with, 99.9% of the time, the reason why I was getting in trouble was my own fault. The second, when I'm in front of them, I listen to what they say. And that's how I figured out to file the UCCs, because when I went in there and I was like, these statutes and ordinances, they don't apply to living men. Like, that's where I started. I started off with that. And he goes, you can't talk to me like that. You got to have the right paperwork filed. And I was like, all right, cool. See me. Can I get adjourned for 30 days, Your Honor? Yeah, see you in 30. All right, cool. And I came back with all my stuff, and then boom, I mean, court was completely different for me. I didn't get it dismissed or anything taken care of at the time, but me not going to jail and talking crap to the judge was a win for me, So and then
absolutely.
I just grew into that, and I knew what? I was like, you know what? Don't go in there and try and tell them how to do their job. Just tell them their role. Just make sure all the rules are, fair, not fair, like we're all created on, but you just have to know that you're in admiralty law. You have to know that the main title is you're the benefactor. You're the beneficiary, no matter what. That's all. And then if there's no affidavit there, okay, no claim. Business is done. Have a great day if you show up to court. But you shouldn't be showing up to court. You go on the off days when court is not in session. Make a formal meeting with the judge in chambers if you can. And just talk to them. Just say, hey, what do you want me to sign so you get your pension? Because you're unlimited. It's not like you're coming out of pocket with anything. So if you go to them, listen, hey, I love you guys. I'm trying to get everybody paid here. I'm not trying. There's no arguments with me. I'm honoring everything. Your charges here are accepted for value and consideration in accordance with Federal Rules and Procedure Rule 8. I know that you're going to fill out the 1099-R for your retirement funds on my estate. I know you're embezzling my estate. I just want a piece of the pie of what you're embezzling. You can, they'll believe me. They'll start talking to you because that's all they want. That's why they have their golf buddies, the prosecutors there. They're just there to make sure that everybody gets paid. And if you want to be the belligerent and the moron that hires an attorney to go speak for you and you're the child of the ward or child of the court and you can't speak for yourself, well, you don't deserve anything. You're a piece of cattle. You're a child. You're not a grown man. You're not a grown woman. You can't administer nothing. You can't even speak for yourself. How are you supposed to handle your affairs? You got to have somebody speak for you. Were you scared? Can't speak for yourself? That's how they look at it.
Right. It's true.
That's how they look at it. But people go in there with false teachings and they start getting belligerent and they be held in contempt. They're detained and they don't know how to finish it because their actions, the government responds to our actions. So if our government is wilding out, that means so if our government is acting crazy, that means we're acting crazy. If we're acting in honor and acting through love and light and we're holding them accountable through that procedure, we already have the higher moral grounding. When you come in, you have the higher moral ground, and there's nothing they can do to you when you know who you are. You're not doing anything wrong, but you know every little fraudulent move that they're doing. And you're just one guy out of 6 billion. Say, I'm fed up with you guys, Don't want this. I don't need you guys administrate. I don't need the state administrating my estate anymore. I'm grown. I can handle my affairs. I can speak for myself. I can handle all my business affairs. Thank you. Have a great day. I'll be here at P.O. Box 614 if you need me. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. It's standing on your square. Is it scary as hell? Fuck yeah. But that's where all
I learned the more he yells at me, the more I'm winning, or the more.
Yes, but see, so when you're in court, you're not supposed to be in court because, like we talked about, let the dead bury the dead.
Right.
He can't hear you anyways. And when they start talking, it's like the dead talking. So that's why when they want an appearance, only spirits appear. You see? So when you
I went in
brought your spirit there and gave life to everything, now that's, we got some trust property here. Hey, we got insurance, we got a body. We'll take the body as insurance for payment, sure. Can't pay it? Come sit in jail for 10. That's what it is. You can't pay your debts, you got to sit in prison. That's why rich people don't go to jail. That's why you see like Meek Mill. That's all for show. Meek Mill, Tupac never sat a day in jail. None of them guys sit in jail. Nobody goes to jail.
Yeah.
None of these rich guys. It's all bullshit.
But just look at Hillary.
Look what you can do to the. You can have a. Don't even get me going on Hillary. You could have a fucking child molesting, trafficking cult, and still not go to prison.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? These people are spirit cooking. They're doing whatever they want to do on a world basis. And no, you know what I mean? You know what it is too? It's a backbone, because the people that are in power, they have blackmail on them. That's why they have to follow orders. That's the deep. And then people talk about the president. Oh, well, the deep state comes in. You're damn right the deep state comes in, because the Jews own the U.S., right? So if the Jews own the U.S. and the president's just a franchise manager, and that's all it is, you're just seeing the puppet. That's not even pulling the strings. They want what's beneficial for the corporation. They don't care about who's in the corporation. They're just doing whatever's beneficial for their pockets. That's it. That's why when you want these government officials and these politicians to worry about your life, you're out your mind. They don't give a shit about your life. You have to know that. You have to give a shit about your life. You have to give a shit about your family. You have to do all this. Because it's your job to know the law. Or otherwise, you're just going to be a slave your whole life. You're going to go to the pearly gates with what? I worked for somebody and built somebody else's dream for 40 years, and I retired when I could barely walk to go see the earth? Nah, I'm good. Can't sell me that dream.
No.
But it's all love and light. It's a frequency. It's a way of being. All these codes will come to you. All this stuff is just. That's why I just try to keep it lame. I try to keep it simple. That's it. But all right, it's 11:30. I gotta get some sleep, guys.
One thing, PJ. The coroner can arrest the sheriff.
Would you say the coroner can arrest the sheriff?
Only the coroner can arrest the sheriff.
That's some serious shit. I didn't know that.
All right, just pass. You were talking about it earlier. I just passed that along.
All right, well, that's awesome. Thank you, Sean, for going over the court stuff or going over the mail chain stuff. And
I'll do it again. No problem.
Yeah, we'll make the announcement. I'll get with you when I land tomorrow. Get all the details going. All right, guys. Thank you guys for coming tonight. I appreciate all you. I love you all. Stay persistent. We'll post all these templates in there for you. Get your information in there for you. And you guys are, next class, we're done. You guys will be able to send your treasury packs out. And then the next class after that, we'll get into some fun stuff. Discharging debts, administrating your estate, defaulting. We'll go into lien. I'll show you how to put liens and levies on bank accounts. It'll be fun. We're not going to be going after any judges or any politicians or anything like that. Just going to show you simple defaults. I'm going to show you simple private administrative procedures. Very, very simple stuff. All right, guys. I'll be in touch with you guys. Like I said, if you want to set up a 5-minute call, go over some paperwork real quick that you did, we could do that. I'm here for you guys. Like I said, it's all getting fun. Everything, some real results. You guys have a great night. I love you guys, and I'll be in touch. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Right.
Thank you.
Ciao, everybody.